Alright, so before we start, if you need closed captions, they will be included for this video. I also wanted to introduce this video to say this wasn't in any way meant to insult or mock the beautiful artistry that is tattoos. They take a lot of effort to learn, and I imagine there can be a lot of pressure when putting something on somebody that will be there forever. Although I have no tattoos of my own, being that I can never really commit to one idea, I really admire tattoos. With that out of the way, let's go. So I started out with selecting references and sketching out what I had in mind. My idea was a goat skull, which feels a little cliche, but one that was in a way reclaimed my nature. So I chose a few vining plants like morning glories and climbing roses, and added in an air plant to fill in the eye socket. I took a lot of inspiration from traditional tattoo styles and old school American. As such, I chose a design that I was hoping would be friendly towards thick lines and gradients. Also, I hate drawing roses. So after the sketch, I moved on to the line art. I'm not so used to line art without pressure sensitivity, but I did this because a lot of the photos I saw online, the line work was often a single thickness and quite bold. Uh, I also, at this stage, I realized that Morning Glories specifically had 5 petals. Not important, but I screwed one up. There I go, lining out the air plant. Here was the annoying part, lining the roses. On stream, I remember I said that one of them looked like a cabbage, and it really did make me want sauerkraut. I decided to draw one of the roses as a bud to show that the growth is still in process, and growth is always going to be a process. Now for the colors and shading. I chose a limited palette of colors to emulate the old school tattoos because back in the day they had limited selection of ink colors, although my selection is not the same as what they would have had access to. For the skull, I just shaded in some grays and blacks, as I said before, due to a limited selection at the time. A lot of the shading was done with gradients. References that I often saw left parts near the line art blank, probably as a form of highlight. If I have any post-work criticism, it's mostly that I should have looked more into the color palette of old school tattoos and maybe put a skin tone in the background. Here you see me fixing my highlights, making them more of a gradient than a sharp white. I started using blacks as a part of my shading uh, because that's what a lot of the old school tattoos did when I looked at the reference photos. And it makes sense for such an iconic style. Truly, limitations can be the catalyst for a lot of unique innovations. Overall, this was a very fun experience, and I truly enjoyed bringing this idea to life and learning what I did and In a way, I gained a new appreciation of the tattoo artists of the past and present. Thank you for watching the video. This is a new format for me, so please let me know if it's a good idea to do more of in the future. And if you did like the video, you can subscribe for more and leave a like, as it's helpful. I know you hear it all the time, but apparently calls for action like this actually do help with numbers. It is what it is. Thank you very much.